First of all, could I thank everybody for coming? I think it's absolutely fantastic to get such a marvellous response to our retiring colleagues. It really indicates the respect that we have for each and every one of them. We're making presentations today to 4 members who are leaving us for Pastures View after many, many years of service in the college. And dare I say it, between them, the years of service total over 100. Over a century. I think that's absolutely fantastic. How on earth we're going to replace these guys, I just don't know. The wealth of experience, both in terms of technical expertise and in terms of further education, is absolutely phenomenal. And they will very definitely be very, very difficult to replace. But life goes on, the college will go on, and I sincerely hope our retiring colleagues will pop in to see us from time to time, as Jack Critchley keeps on doing, is to keep in touch. Come in like Jack, show us the tan that you get every 3 months out in Mallorca, make us all feel very, 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 very envious. On to the presentations. I'll do them in alphabetical order, and the first is Norman Brooks, who according to my records has spent 25 years in the college. And I can remember when I hadn't been here very long, I had occasion to go into one of the staff rooms and I saw this old sort of tatty photograph on the wall. And I asked who the gentleman was with the dashing black hair and the moustache, the sort of Rudolph Valentino. I was told that was Mr. Brooks. So the only thing that amazes me about Mr. Brooks is how he avoided the attention of the ladies for all those years. Because he certainly, I can assure you, if you look at that photograph, Mr. Brooks, as indeed he does now, cut a very, very dashing figure in his youth. And I'm sure he's left a lot of broken hearts scattered all
the end of the second age of man. You then go into the other one, you know, you go down. Well, perhaps I ought to make just 1 or 2 observations. As Mr. Hogan has said, I have been here just over 25 years. And when I left industry to go to what proved to be the first school, we had a staff room at about this position in the building, 2 or 3 stories up. It was round. We used to have a sportsman. In fact, he was the gymnastics master. Every Monday morning he used to come in. He'd either been playing cricket or rugby. He was a rugby international. And he used to come in with the large hammer that you put the wickets in with. And he'd throw it and he'd say, catch. Now the unwary ones got it here. And those who were a little wary ducked and it went through the window. And of course, religiously this happened. Tuesday morning, the grumbling caretaker came up and put the window in, week after week. So you see, we have caretakers. They are supporting our activities. So I thought that would be but nevertheless, I have to thank the caretaking security staff here for many things they've done for me in the years. And then there is the canteen staff, the laundry staff, and the stewards or technicians. I'd like also to personally thank them for many things that they've done for me over the years. And now, somewhat kindly, there's the other lot. That, ladies and gentlemen, is yourselves, myself, and my colleagues are also leaving. We come here, we try to do our best, and looking at the entrance to the college, or is it this entrance, I don't know. Through the years I've seen the good, the bad, and the indifferent. And however, starting from the Campbell Institute, which perhaps some of the newcomers are unaware we started in this college from, we've tried to build up a college. Now, the years are going to come in September, things are going to be different. And it reminds me of the Bard of Avon. What does he say to Prince Hamlet in that soliloquy? To be or not to be? That is the question. And then you know it goes on. We all know the ones from parody, don't we? And I trust that all of you will have a successful term next term. Those who are curious, I myself am hoping to do some part-time at the university and do some research. Now, I wish you all success in the coming years, and had I not met some of you, many of you indeed, my life would not be as rich indeed as it is. Thank you very much.
Took me 22 years. A very good colleague, Frank. You all know Frank, he's very much to himself, a little bit on the quiet side. So although I've been here 5 years, it took me quite a while to get to know Frank, but I finally managed it. Because a couple of years ago, as Mr. Saunders will testify, Bob, Frank and I went on a night out to Manchester to watch the Faraday lecture. Which Frank was a little bit reticent to do, but he decided that he'd come along. And as Bob and Frank live fairly close together, Bob persuaded us to go in his local on our return, his foot, as they call it, in Billings. Frank was a little bit reticent again about this because not being a drinking man, as it were, so we got Frank in the pub and we saw a completely different side of him. 2 halves and he's anybody. We came out of the pub, Frank tripped up over the step, fell into my arms. Just leave him on the doorstep at his house, ring the bell and run away. I don't know what the sequel to that story was. Frank, as far as I'm concerned, he's been a very excellent colleague. I shall miss you tremendously. Very best of luck.
Thank you very much. Well, I'd like to say thank you 3 times, not take too long. over it either. In 22 years, you're bound to have had your ups and downs in this college. And I would like, very much, to thank you all for the kind word and the joke and the bit of comfort you've given me from time to time. The second thing I'd like to thank you for is for the good send-off you've given us today. It's great. I never thought we'd have a send-off like this. And then the third one is for the President Chancellor. Yeah, and I wish you all a happy future.
Now my good friend Don Keenan, who has 27 years service. Again, really, a bit like Frank, Don, as I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying, is perhaps a little bit of an introvert, keeps very much to himself, and sometimes it's very difficult for a head of department to get to know people on that sort of basis. But the catalyst, of course, for my getting to know Don was what's now become known as our Libyan experience, which we all remember rather well. And Don became our sort of international correspondent, jetting off to Czechoslovakia and Libya and other foreign parts of the world, seeking out business for the college. I think in Don's case, we can perhaps just relate one of the stories about the Libyan students that Don used to have to contend with. Because when you've got Libyan students, of course, you don't only get queries about their marks and their performance in college, you get paternity claims and insurance claims and so forth and so on. But I think the best sort of call that we got was from this particular landlady who lived by herself and had this particular Libyan staying with her, and he wasn't paying the rent. So she got onto college and said that he wasn't paying the rent. Could we do anything about it? And he says, yes, we'll throw him out and tell him to get somewhere else. Oh no, she says, please don't throw him out. So I'll leave you to... yes, it's very interesting. I got to know Don very, very well throughout the sort of Libyan project, travelling away to places. And behind that quiet exterior, I can assure you that there's a very witty and witty, yeah, very witty and very sharp person. Don, the very best of luck in your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must thank you for coming here and making this such an excellent send-off for so many years. And in some ways, I think the day is very suitable for a retirement day. As you all know, it's the 4th of July. It is not only American Independence Day, but it's our Independence Day as well. Referring back to our friends, the Libyans, I think Mr. Hogan missed a great chance not going to Libya. We learned a lot not only about ourselves, but about the Libyans. And there were very many interesting incidents whilst we were away, if I can just refer to one of them. And this was the question of, it was Ramadan whilst we were in Czechoslovakia. It was hot, if not hotter than it's been this week. And we're not only hot outside, but unfortunately we were doing a lot of practical hot repairs inside. And the temperature was very, very high. And even the Libyans can't stand it, you know. They might have perhaps kids, but they can't stand the heat, less than we can do it. However, when at the end of this period of fasting, I should explain they do fast, or say they fast, from everything, from food and drink, all day. That's during the hours of daylight. And they're also supposed to fast from other pleasures, which we won't go into at the moment. I got on the word. However, the normal thing to do for the Libyans is to, for the head of the household, to obtain a sheep, something like this, and to slaughter this with his own hand and his own knife, and cut it up and cook it. And of course in Czechoslovakia they're a little bit limited in not being able to get sheep, but they tried very hard, and the best they could get were rabbits. And I think the majority of the students to purchase these rabbits, and they took them all to this hotel in Sokolov, and we were keeping them in the bedrooms, ready for the feast. The next morning the chambermaids came and found all these live rabbits running around. So we got frantic calls up at the factory to say, you know, the Libyans go, the rabbits go, or both. We got I'm really forgot what I was going to say now. Thank you very much for all the presence and for the support both now and many times during the 27 years I've been here. Thank you very much.
And last but by no means least, my good friend and colleague Bill Strettle, who has actually got, according to my records, 28 years of service. I got to know Bill in the college mainly through work on the full-time diploma course, and I think that's the thing that Bill will leave behind that the college can really be thankful for. Over the past 3 years he's done an absolutely tremendous amount of work in establishing the full-time diploma in electrical and electronic engineering. Something else, through the many, many hours over the past years when we've interviewed students and their parents, the thing that always impressed me about Bill was the very genuine care and attention he had for the students and for the parents who came right along with them. And that will be sorely missed. Bill, where is he?
Come on, Bill.
Very best of luck.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hogan, for your remarks, and thank you all very much. You've heard all the gentlemen saying the same thing that I was going to say, obviously, but I have to admire management because they do put you in a corner. Like now, you're all wanting a drink, and here's me keeping you away from drink. Now, I got all my speech ready. I was trained to the minute by yesterday morning. And I understand that Mr. Hogan was playing cricket on Wednesday night. He's just going to hit a 4, and he said, we won't have that thing on Thursday morning. We'll have it on Friday morning. So I'm overtrained like my Meachin now. I've had 2 versions of my speech. The first one I showed my wife, she says, you don't say that. And now I've blown the second one. I'll tell you what my wife told me to tell you all. She said, hello, thank you, and goodbye.
Mr. Meachin wants to make a special presentation to Mr. Strettle, but there's a special presentation I want to make before that, because we have a member of staff who this year has achieved a particular distinctive merit. Over the years we have these distinctions coming along Roger Bannister with a 4-minute mile, Neil Armstrong landing on the moon, Bob Beeman's fantastic 28 feet leap in Mexico, and this year, for the very first time to my knowledge, we've actually had a member of staff who's cracked the 10,000 student hour barrier. So I want to just present that member of staff with a little memento of the occasion. And we won't say who it is just for the moment, but the certificate is the St Helens College of Technology, Department of Hard Labour, and it indicates that the successful candidate has completed a 10,774 student hour programme in the current session, and he satisfied the examiners in the following subjects: endurance, tolerance, patience, stamina and ambassadorship. But there's one asterisk along the side of patience, and at the bottom the asterisk indicates that a resit in that subject prevented a merit being awarded. So I'd like to present this certificate to Jeff Meachin.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. Totally unexpected. There is another member of staff actually, and they're over 10,000 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, I won't keep you very long.
You have to dash away.
Yes.
Don't last.
Mr. Hogan didn't quite hear me properly. I have a slide presentation to each member because for obvious reason. Now, years ago, the Invisible Man said there were no medals for long service at St Helens. I think that's a terrible thing to say, and people in this game are easily hurt, but they don't show their feelings. They just go away and seek excellence in other fields. And I'm able today to award medals for those fields of excellence. Not in alphabetical order. First, Mr. Hill.